The healthcare system is broken. Let's be real. You wake up exhausted, your brain is foggy, your gut is a mess, you're bloated, your joints hurt, your skin breaks out, your weight won't budge, your hormones are out of whack, you've got no libido, mood swings, anxiety, depression, and here's the worst part. They tell you you're normal. It's part of aging. Look, we've been sold a lie. The system is designed to keep you sick. It's not just flawed, it's fundamentally rigged against you. Chronic illness is a $1 trillion a year industry. Big pharma profits from illness. Doctors are trapped. They're trained to diagnose and prescribe drugs, not to heal the root of the problem. Hospitals and insurance companies play the game. They inflate costs, deny real treatment options, and they push you through a cycle that keeps you stuck. How's that working out for you? Are you getting any better? Or are you just collecting more and more diagnoses and more prescriptions? The truth is, to break free of this corrupt system, you must understand that self-care is the real healthcare. What if we told you that the solutions to your health problems are literally in your hands or just a click away? You see, BioLimitless is the solution. It's not just another healthcare program. It's a science-based, data-driven approach that actually works. We look at the 5 pillars of real health. We manage your genetics. We look at your DNA and tell you how you should live your genetic lifestyle. We'll give you the map, the keys in the car, and the blueprint for you to learn how to eat, sleep, move, think well so you can be well. We look at your central nervous system, the master control switch. If it's out of balance, everything else suffers. We look at the autonomic nervous system. This regulates chronic stress. We look at cellular health and function. We look at the real true control switches for cellular health and cellular function, which is the key to looking young, feeling young, and having longevity. We look at the microbiome. BioLimitless gives you the tools to truly understand your body and how to optimize it at every level. You must understand that self-care is the real healthcare. Because here is the deal, folks. No one is coming to save you. Not your doctor, not your pharmaceutical company, not your government. You have to take it into your own hands. BioLimitless is the answer. It's time to wake up. It's time to take your life back. It's time to become BioLimitless. Let's get started. Hey everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's Dr. Eric Nepute coming to you again today. I told you we'd be coming at you quite a bit today. I want to see if I can do something here. So I told you guys I would go through the DNA discovery wellness test with you guys. Cool. I freaking got it to pull up. All right. This is huge. So here's what I want to do. I want to take some time and share with you guys today our DNA discovery wellness test. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can see and hear my screen? Can you guys see where it says dashboard? I'm actually sharing the DNA test kit results from my phone onto the live stream. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can see it and hear it. You should see me, and then you should see another split screen. Let's see that. So perfect. Okay, good. So here's what I want to do. I want to show you the power of knowledge. You know, knowledge is power, but wisdom is taking that knowledge and applying it to your life. And so perfect. Thanks, Claudia. I appreciate that. Denise, good to see you. Mike, good to see you. Michelle, hello. Renee, good to see you guys from all over the place. So I wanted to put out a video for you all today to show you the power and benefits of testing, not guessing. Now, I want you to understand something about your DNA. Your DNA is not your destiny, okay? And your DNA, the DNA loads the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. What does that mean? Your DNA is a blueprint of you. And it's one of the most important tests that we possibly run with our patients. And we're talking people globally across the world. We've had people from all backgrounds and all walks of lives and all, you name it, come and check out what it is that we're doing here at BioLimitless. And what's amazing is when you get these test results back, when you get your results, what you actually get is you get an app, and that app is an interactive AI app. By the way, if I seem a little scattered, it's because it's the first time I've ever done a video to you guys with the app playing, and I'm hoping that it comes through okay, and you guys can see everything. Because the way I'm looking at it right now, it looks as though it's not portraying in the way I'd like. Let me just click this and see here. Let's try this one more time.
let me try one more thing. Let me stop sharing here. Let me redo this for everybody. So the reason why I want everybody to have the ability to check this out is because it's really quite fascinating. Let's see if that will work. It's really quite fascinating when you see, there we go. When you see how this works. So let's try that again. Okay, perfect. So now if you come here and when you test your DNA, what's amazing is you get this genetic test in the mail. We mail it to you when you order it at BioLimitless.com. By the way, this test measures 915,000 data points about you. Literally, it measures the genetics of how you should sleep, eat, exercise, what medications are potentially harmful for you, what are good for you. It gives you an idea of how much rest you should be getting, what injuries you're predisposed to, what disease processes you have a higher risk of, what supplements you're going to be potentially needing more of, how your body responds to stress, how your gut microbiome responds, everything about your hormones, your endocrine system. I mean, it really just lays out the information about you. So when you get this test, you order it from BioLimitless.com. The test used to be $2,500, but just like cell phones, remember cell phones back in the day when they were as big as like those big bag phones, you had to hold it up to your head to make a call. And it was like $10 every time you made a phone call. It was crazy. Well, as technology gets better, pricing gets better. And as people finally understand how powerful genetic testing is, remember, we've been doing this for 20 years. We've been doing this for 20 years. This is not our first rodeo. Okay. So we've done something that no one else that I know has done. We've actually taken and created our own AI interface, because when we used to get these reports back, it would be thousands of pages of code. And then we would have to go through and decipher the code of what that code means and then put a report together for you. We've now been able to get that test down to $900. And I'll tell you that we have a promo code going right now, BIO30, where if you go and purchase this, it gives you another 30% off. So literally like $600. You'll never, ever get a test this quality, especially as much information, interaction as we give. Nobody else does what we're doing. Most other genetic companies out there will measure your genetics. They'll give you about a 30 to 40 page PDF. And once you get that PDF, then, well, okay, you're on your own to figure it out. I'm going to show you an interactive platform that's going to blow your mind that we created. It's our own database, our own technology, and we're constantly learning and improving towards it. So when you get this kit, when you get it in the mail, here's what you're going to do. You're going to open it up, and it's very, very simple. Okay. You're going to get a little handout, a little postcard. And on one side of the postcard, it's going to show you, what you should do, how you should mail out your testing, how to do the testing. We have videos for you put together for it. It tells you where to go to get the app. You can go to the App Store on either the Apple Store or on Android, and you can download the app for your phone. That's where your results will be. They are autonomous. That means your name is not attached to the results. And we did that because, people want their stuff to be secured. And people are concerned because Ancestry.com, 23andMe, they sold all your data. We're not even collecting the data in a repository that it can be sold. This is information just for you. So if you don't fill this out proper, like it says here on this, the bottom of the screen says results, and it's going to give you a chance to scan you can see me there in the computer, right? But it gives you a chance to QR scan your code on here. And you literally are going to scan your barcode. Like this is the barcode that you're going to scan to do this. And now your kit's going to be registered. Okay. So you can register your kit. Once you get your kit in the mail, you're going to get this little tube. So here's what we want you to do. We want you, before you eat anything, before you brush your teeth, I want to make sure your mouth is clean. Grab some water, rinse it out, spit it out a couple times, because I don't want any chicken DNA or beef DNA or kale or broccoli or Skittles or whatever might be in here. So you're going to literally take the top off of this. You're going to now put this lid, this stopper top back on top of it. This is the application for you to literally spit in. And all you're going to do now is you're going to see there's a fill line. You have to fill it to here. You're going to spit in it. That's all you have to do. When you're done spitting in the tube, you're going to put this lid back on the tube. You're going to shake it a few times. You're going to put this entire thing back in your test kit. You're going to mail this entire thing back. Take a picture. Listen to me. Take a picture of the number on the side here, just in case you lose it. You'll get an email about it, but just in case you lose it, it's there. And then all you're going to do is you're going to follow the instructions and you're going to mail this entire thing back. Now, we give you, it's impossible for us. We have 50 different countries that we're supporting for this genetic test right now. It is impossible for us to give you a return envelope back to the facilities that we test in. So we're giving you a $50 gift card. You get a $50 coupon to use for your next purchase on BioLimitless at the BioLimitless store. You're going to go and mail this out. It's going to cost you about $20 to mail it out. Whether you're in the United States, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in Asia, Japan, wherever, it's going to tell you where to mail it to. So follow the instructions on here and go mail it out. Now, it's 915,000 data points. So it's going to take some time to get the results back. It typically takes about 4 weeks to get the results back. It was taking upwards of 6 to 8 weeks to get the results back. Now we've got it down to 4 because this is not a regular blood test. We have to measure 900,000 data points, and then it goes into our machine learning AI so that you can have your results downloaded on your app. Everything happens through the app, and you can see on the screen a little bit about the app. So you can see my results here. You can see the DNA test kit is there. And then you can also see, let's see here. You can also see the AI interaction. So let's see if we can reload this. For whatever reason, it keeps coming up a little squirrely here. Give me one more second to try this again. Let's go here. Screen share, Windows. Let's go here, share. Okay. Now I'm actually at where, I wonder why it's sharing weird like this. But anyway, I'm at the area where it is sharing your AI health assessment. And you can literally ask it. We have a few pre-populated questions in here. This is really a powerful tool. Man, you know what? I'm having some difficulty. I want to see if let me refresh my questions here. Yeah, for whatever reason, half the app is not showing up on here. Does that look squirrely to you guys too? Let me know if it looks weird. I apologize. I'm a fantastic doctor. I know how to deal with people's heart disease, cancer, diabetes, stroke, etc. But I couldn't tell you jack diddly squat about getting something set up on the internet to show you guys how to do this. For whatever reason, is it looking good or does it look off? Can you see the entire thing? Somebody let me know who's watching, please. Because I'm going to have to stop and redo it if it's not doing it proper. For whatever reason, I'm going to wait for you guys to respond. Okay. But when you look at this, it can go through all of your results. It's good now. Okay. All right. Well, someone says it's good, so I'm going to go with that it's good. So hopefully you can see this on your side there where I scroll up and down. Okay, good. It does look squirrely. All right. Oh, there we go. Maybe that's why it looks squirrely. Does that look better now? Yeah, I think we got it fixed. Perfect. Okay. So when we look at this now, if I go through here and I click on my DNA test results, all right, I'm going to go back through here. Now I've got two choices. It can look at my DNA results or my epigenetic results, okay? Now let me know if you should see playing all or half, because it should be playing all of the screen. Yep, perfect. Okay, good. So now when we look at this thing, yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Claudia. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate that. Okay, so now when we go through and look at this thing, we can break it down. We break our genes down into different subset categories. So for example, like the top left is anti-aging, cardiac health, diet, eyes, gut, hair. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, okay? Now, I'm going to click on one of these. Let's just click on anti-aging. When we look at the anti-aging, you see where it says more at the top left side there? If I want to, now what I can do is I can generate a PDF. And a PDF will be sent straight to my email about this. So there'll be a 40-page PDF for each of these. So if you want to see a PDF of it, it's all there, and it will go deeper into details. And in a moment, I'll show you what that PDF looks like. Hopefully it's on my email by the time we go look for it. Now, you can see that from an anti-aging, we look at back pain and aging. We look at cognitive degeneration. We look at longevity. We look at metabolism with age, and we look at stress with age. We want to see greens. So I want to see greens and light greens. Okay, those are good. Remember, reds are bad, yellows are whoa, we got an issue, greens are good. Okay, so if I look under the cognitive degeneration, I'm going to click on that. You can see that I personally, these are my genes, I personally have a genetic predisposition for dementia. Okay, so knowing that tells me certain things I should do with my life. And so when I look at this, you can see there's 36 genotypes that have been detected. These are the 36 genotypes that deal with dementia, but they also deal with neurocognitive decline. We now can measure and tell 20 to 30 years before someone actually has degenerative diseases like dementia of what their risk factors are and how to fix it. Okay. Now, this talks about what does it mean? All right. We have an algorithm that evaluates this. It talks about what genes were looked at. It talks about the pathways that are involved. Because we always say that you're not broken, you're blocked. Okay. It's the blocked pathways that are the problems. All right. So you can see that. You can see the different pathways we talk about here. There's a lot of good information. It talks about for my specific age. I happen to be 44 years young at the time of this test. It talks about the implications of this, what we should be doing, how we should be dealing with it. I mean, there's just a lot of great information in here. Okay. Then we should connect on what should we do? Okay. Since we reviewed the genotypes, it talks about what each gene measures, what each gene looks at. Then it talks a little bit about the science component. This is learning about you. Okay. This is the learning part about you. Okay. I have the genes for Alzheimer's and dementia. I have a lot of people on my father's side. My paternal grandmother is really where a lot of that comes from there. So then it talks a little bit about the science, the importance of things that I should know, risk factors, and et cetera. And then here are all the genes that were measured to come up with this algorithm. Okay. So, and if you want to learn more about these genes, you can click on the gene and the gene pulls up and then it tells you what to learn about the gene. You can click the hyperlink. It tells you a lot. Okay. Now that's really powerful and really important. But where the rubber meets the road is if I click down here where it says results for my AI interaction, I now can go through here and I can engage with my AI app and I can ask it questions. It says, hey, I'm your AI health assistant. We created a health assistant for all of us to go through to ask questions. Now we've pre-populated a lot of these questions in here. We've pre-populated a lot of them. But there's also some on here that if we want to learn more about, we can ask questions to. Okay. So let me grab this real quick. So if I wanted to ask it a question, let's just say, based off of my genetics, what predispositions do I have for Alzheimer's or dementia? And could you please put together a plan together for me to correct these issues? So you can talk text this, but since I'm hooked onto the internet, it won't let me do it. So let me try this again. There we go. There we go. So I just asked it based off my genetics. Now it's going to look, it's going to look at all my 900,000 genes that are there, and it's gathering the information about me. And this is literally like if you were to ask me the question, the response that you're going to get is the response that I would give you. Talks about the genes, tells you your risk factors, and then it does it personalized for you. Now, please understand this. Your DNA is not your destiny. Your genetics are the gateway. It's like the blueprint. It's the thumbprint of what we need to know about you. But then what it does, it goes through and it says, based off of my genetic risk and my genetic factors of what I should be doing to help myself. Now I'm going to see if I can reshare this. There we go. Once it's responding to answers, it won't let me scroll up on the computer. I'm live streaming this. I think that might be why. But it talks about based off of my risk factors, what nutrients I should have, how much of those nutrients I should have. Talks about my risk factors of B vitamins. And then at the end of this, it's going to say, what follow-up questions do I have? And I'm going to ask it to put together an exercise plan for me a food plan for me and a nutritional plan for me based off of my genetic risk factors for dementia, so that I can mitigate and do the best I can to prevent these diseases from happening in my life. This is what this will do for you. It's literally having a doctor in a little app. You've got your personal chef because they can make food plans for you. They can tell you what lifestyle habits that you should be doing. They can tell you what exercises. You got your little personal trainer in your app. You got your nutritionalist in your app. You got your stress management, a physician in your app. All of this is here for you. And I think you'll be blown away when you see how powerful this tool is. Most of these other genetic tests that are out there, they don't go into this level of detail. In fact, they don't go into any level of detail. You're basically on your own to figure it out, where this is an entire ecosystem that was made to help you guys figure out how to best help yourself. So here's kind of a generalization of it. Does anybody think this is interesting? I mean, Claudia says, my mind is already blown by this, right? Like, this is a super powerful tool. There's nothing like this on the market. There's all kinds of genetic tests that are out there that tells you, like, hey, take these vitamins, or here's your risk factors, but it doesn't tell you plans of what you can do with this. It talks about sleep, talks about exercise, talks about social support. Now it says, would you like me to explore any of these areas in more detail? So I'm going to ask it a question. I'm going to tell it, yes, put together a food plan for me based off my test results to reduce my risk of dementia. And put together an exercise plan for me and make it a 6-week program. So now I just asked my app to look at my genetics and give me a 6-week program, food and nutrition, based off of my genetics for helping with the risk factors I've got of neurocognitive decline, such as Alzheimer's. What do you guys think about this? Okay. Jordan says, hey, this is incredible. It is incredible. You guys give me some questions to ask it about anything. I'll take you back in a minute and show you. I'll show you some of the PDFs that come out of this, and I'll also show you some of the other results that come out of this. So, Claudia said this. She said, this would be very helpful, maybe even scary, but as you say, knowledge is power. So listen, I get the idea of being scared. Like, I think people think that they're going to get this app and it's going to tell them like the time and place of their death. That's not the case. Now, I will tell you, with genetics and certain blood tests, we can usually tell within a couple of years of when someone is going to be dearly departed. I know it's crazy, but look at the power of this. I really want to know your thoughts on this. It's going to build. Now it's building me a program. Okay. So it's building me a program. So what's neat is I have gifted intelligence outcomes and fantastic methylation on some aspects I do of my testing, but now I want a plan. So would you like me to outline some key? Yes. I want a full plan of action with daily action steps. And it's just like the AI that you're used to engaging with. You need to ask it real precise questions. Once you understand the questions you need to ask, then the answers that you get are going to be pretty simple. So it says, sounds like I'm ready for a comprehensive plan. Eric, that's wonderful. By the way, we're improving this. Soon there'll be AI they already have my name and my face and my picture that they can actually use to engage with. So you can, in the future, upgrade when you purchase this. By the way, this app comes with this for free. There's no additional fee for you to have this. And as more data and information comes out, just like it does every month, year, or decade, when it comes to genetics, it will help you understand more information of how to help it. Let's see. Can you tell me a little bit more about okay, so let me tell my plan. So give me a plan of action to lose 10 pounds of fat and to gain 5 pounds of muscle. And so I need a meal plan, food plan, supplement plan. So, I mean, you can go through all of this and it'll answer all your questions. So now it's going to look at all my health data. And I'm going to come back to this in just a second. So, because it's working and it's doing the work for me. So now what I want to do is I want to show you a couple of other things here. We have some pre-populated questions in here that you can start engaging with it. You know, if I have a genetic predisposition for Achilles injuries, or does my DNA suggest that noise or hearing loss could be a problem? There's just so many things that you can find out about this. And when you go to your genetic results, pull this up, DNA results. Let's go ahead and look under, let's go. So we've got cardiac, eye health, diet, gut health, hair health, hormones, metabolic, immune, injury risk. You guys tell me which one you want me to take a look at. Kidney health, intolerances to foods and sensitivities. This is a big one. Let me show you this one. So it talks about, so I have sensitivities to gluten. I have sensitivities to lactase. I have sensitivities to fatty food sensitivities. Hay fever is another one. Sugar sensitivities. Vitamin D, like for me, vitamin D helps me reduce allergies. This one, vitamin A, helps me reduce allergies. So if I want to know more about, like, let's say gluten sensitivity, I'll click on that. And it says I've got an increased risk of gluten sensitivity of non-celiac gluten. And that's true. I don't have celiac, but I've got an increased risk for it. And it talks about, here's why I've got this. Okay. Then it says, okay, what should I do about it? Focus on keeping foods and the symptom diary. Stay away from gluten foods. Here's a little bit about the science part of it. Talks about the algorithm, how it looks. It's just gain knowledge about yourself, right? And then here's the genes that we measure, your HLA genes. These are really important for autoimmune problems. The intogene, these are all important genes that just do so much. But again, if I want to find out more information, I can ask my DNA, hey, based off of my genetics, it shows that I've got gluten sensitivity. Please explain that to me. Tell me what foods I need to avoid. And can you give me a yes, no food list to eat off of, a list of foods that I should be eating and a list of foods that I should be avoiding? So now I can ask it a question like that, and then it just give your body, give it time, and it will answer the question for you. And it's really fascinating when you start engaging with this, you start learning more about yourself. We always talk about how self-care is the real healthcare. And so many people have been able to find out why their hormones are problematic, why they have such problems with allergies, why their body doesn't burn fat as efficiently. You know, I'll show you in just a moment how you can find out what types of food you should be eating more of, fats, carbs, or proteins. It takes the guesswork out of the type of exercises and food plans that you should be doing. So it says when someone has gluten sensitivity, they might experience symptoms after eating certain foods like bloating, gas, abdominal pain, etc. To help you manage, let's talk about foods that you can eat and foods that you should avoid. So here's my avoiding of foods. Any of you that have MTHFR genes or gluten sensitivities or HLA genes, this is where you should go. All right. It talks about, here's a simple way to think about it. Foods to avoid or limit significantly. And it gives you a list of all these foods. It talks about the wheats, the breads, the pastas. It talks about the some of the soups that are problematic for people, foods that you can enjoy, what you should be able to have, what you shouldn't be able to have, but you still need to keep a journal of how you feel and how you function when you take these foods. Because a lot of times you're going to find that, you know, your genetics predispose you to certain things. I mean, how cool is this? This is literally what patients ask me every day. I made this not just for you guys, but I made this for me. There's nothing like this out there. Like there's no comparison. People sometimes try to compare what they do know to what they don't know. They try to compare ancestry.com or 23andMe to this, taking your raw data and plugging it into another application. It just, there's a reason why we made ours the way we made it. After looking at over 50,000 genetic tests, at hundreds of thousands of blood tests, this is why we created the product line and the things that we created based out of BioLimitless. Here, you want to see some more? Let's look at hormones. This is always a fascinating one for a lot of people because most people think that they have hormonal issues when the reality they don't. So you get an idea of like, how does cortisol affect your libido, erectile dysfunction and vasodilation? How does magnesium affect testosterone? I mean, like you can see, I've got the MTHFR gene. If you have that MTHFR gene, that mother trucker gene, that's going to be impacting your hormones more than anything. And you can read through here and realize what you need to do based off of, the information that you find here, or you can go through, here's the science bit. You can look at the genes that were tested, tells me what genes I've got, where they are, what the alleles are, and etc. And then I could put together a plan of action. So based off of my genetic testing, tell me what I should be doing, how I should be eating, how I should be sleeping, how I should be supplementing, and how I should be exercising based off of my genetics and how that could be affecting my hormones. Now, what we did with this is we had some limitations because of the fact that we do have this test in multiple countries throughout the globe. We had to, when we make recommendations, the recommendations for some of the nutrients are a lot lower than I would normally recommend. Like, for example, vitamin D3. Most adults in America, period, we recommend around 10,000 to 15,000 international IUs a day for those individuals. We also recommend to test, not guess, so we can see where your levels are and making sure that they're in the appropriate spaces where they should be. Well, because of certain countries, primarily Europe, we can't make those normal high recommendations. So a lot of these are lower than we normally recommend. This is also why we put the BioLimitless ecosystem of products into here. So you can see how it first talks about certain genes. My body's the worrier versus warrior gene. It helps break that down. Talks about lifestyle that we should focus on. I mean, it really truly lays out plans for you about how you should do all the things that you should do and how your lifestyle, what you should focus on, your hobbies, sleep. Talks about my genetics. So this is going to give me an overview, and then I can start chunking it down into slower, lower action steps. So it says my sleep. I'm not likely a night owl. I'm a morning person. That's for certain. So it talks about when I should work out, when I should prioritize my exercises. Sleep deprived can raise cortisol. So they want me to try to aim for 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night based off of my genetics. Talks about the nutrition, vitamin C, talks about the right type of folic acid. That's the cell signal formula. Talks about other supplements and pathways that need to be dealt with as well. Now it's laying out the exercise program that we should have. Now I can go deeper when I get done with this. This is the general overview. I'm going to ask it to lay down for me a step-by-step daily and weekly program of exercise, diet, nutrition, supplementation, rest, and recovery. Okay. So it's pretty cool. It's really cool. So, oh, great, Kathy, great question. How do you prevent or protect DNA test results from being leaked? This is one of my concerns. By the way, very good concern, valid concern. So number one, we make it autonomous. Okay. First of all, Kathy, I don't know if you know this, but every person born after 1991 in the United States of America, unless they were born at home with a midwife, has their DNA already on file. They keep a genetic sequencing of all humans. They have for the past 30 years. If somebody wants your genetics, it's not going to be hard to get it. Anytime you've ever given blood, donated urine, went to the doctor, I mean, those things could be on file everywhere. So we do everything we can. We make it autonomous. Number one, your results literally get incinerated the moment that we have them finished. They get incinerated every night. I had a really good friend of mine who is an influencer, which is, by the way, some of the problems that we had with people in the past. They would get their testing done, but they wouldn't either register their kit proper or they didn't go through the right steps. And because we had so many checks and balances here to keep this autonomous, that people couldn't get their info. So if they're not following the steps, we can't keep it as secured as we'd like it to. But let me just tell you something. We couldn't rerun the test. It was a good friend of mine who's also a major influencer in the nutrition world. I guarantee you would know this person if you heard me say their name, and we had to have them rerun the test. So this is the most secure testing that is out there that we know of. And it talks about in our documentation that we're not selling anybody's data. We're not using it for anything else other than for your information, for your educational and informational purposes only. So now I'm going to ask my app, okay, now what I want you to do is I need you to put together a precise plan of action for the next 6 weeks. I want daily action steps and weekly goals. I want to have a plan of action of supplements to take, foods to eat, how much rest I should get, and I need specific details on everything. And if you could please get that in a PDF or in a Word document, that would be fantastic. Now, what you can do is ask it for a workout plan, a sleep plan, a stress reduction plan, all these different kinds of things. Everything that you want to find out about you, you can find out. And then what you can do is you can copy and paste that. We're actually in our second, our latest app that we're going to have coming out in probably a couple of months. You'll have the opportunity to engage with a video, and you'll have audio that you can engage with as well. But just like ChatGTP or any of these other gronks that are out there, there'll be a expense to it. There'll be an investment for that, be a cost for that. It's worth every darn penny of it. Okay, that's for darn sure. Okay, so now it's creating. It'll create a form for me. Would you like me to start focusing on nutrition? Yes. So now I can start going through and engaging and asking. It'll break down everything. And then when we get done, you just copy and paste and it'll put it into a document for you. So how cool is this? It's pretty wild to find out about you. You know, we talk about self-care is the real healthcare. And the more you understand how your self works, the better you can take care of yourself. And so, you know, it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay. Give me a 6-week workout plan where I am working out 3 days a week, and give me a workout plan that is 1 day a week upper body, 1 day a week lower body. Use a push-pull technology. So 1 day I'm doing upper body, another day I'm doing lower body, and then give me 1 day that I'm doing full body exercises, and give me those exercises so I can complete them in a 45-minute workout. And I probably don't know how to do all the exercises. So could you please give me a written explanation of how to do each one? So now I'm going to ask it about exercise. I want to see what it can do from an exercise standpoint for me. So once you start interacting with it, it'll start getting these little baselines put together for you. And it's very quick to get the information once it starts rolling through. What do you think about this? You ever seen anything like this before? This is truly all about you. This is where self-care starts, you know, and then soon we'll be able to add at-home blood testing. We already have access to it. We just have to get this part to you guys. I want you to do your genetics first because it lays the baseline. Then we can do some blood. Then we can do, you know, for the blood, we can look at hormones and vitamins and minerals and nutrients. We have a direct-to-consumer gut test that's going to be coming to you guys very soon as well, where you'll have an idea of what's going on with your gut microbiome and what you can do. We literally, by the end of this year, will have a complete at-home direct-to-consumer program that you could be doing. What do we got going on here? Would you like me to explore high muscle under its own? I want the plan. And I'm going to show you some cool stuff here in just a second. You can ask so many questions when you engage with it. Oh, I didn't go through on this. There's a spot where you go through and you answer questions about yourself. When you register your kit, you have to do that. It talks about your height, your weight, your health challenges, etc. You go through all that stuff. And then let's just say what's most important for me right now. I'm just going to put in here weight loss and fat loss, and I'll put muscle gain and energy improvement. Now I'm going to show you where a lot of this is pre-populated already. Now, while we're doing that, let me see if this will pull up. Let me go here. Perfect. So it talks about my genetic issues for weight loss, fat loss, talks about the foods I should eat, foods I should have. Talks about my risk factors for diseases, what foods I should eat, what foods I shouldn't eat. Talks about how my body can put on muscles. And if I go back to these pre-populated questions, let's just say I'm going to ask this question. My DNA indicates I have a need for B vitamins, which is why we made this is exactly why we made the cell signal formula. Because look, out of all the genetic testing that we've done over the years, we find this to be one of the biggest things, is that the DNA, people's DNAs are not working because they don't have enough of the methylated B vitamins. And so you can ask it this question. It starts going into this. The cell signal formula is the solution that we have for the people who have methylated issues, especially any issues with B vitamins. Talks about what B vitamins are important for me. These are the B vitamins that are in the cell signal formula, why we should have it, what should we do with it. So I've got below average methylation, which means I have to have methylated B vitamins, methylcobalamin, LMTHFR. Those are what we have in the cell signal formula. This is what people should be taking. I think it's pretty cool. So do my patients, because it just takes the guessing out of what to do for you. Yeah, and then once you ask a question, it says you'd like to explore some more. Yeah, tell me, what are more things that I could do to support methylation in my life? Cell signal is going to be a big one of them. Just such a powerful tool, man. Now, while we're waiting for this, let me show you this. Let's see if I can pull up my DNA results. Boom. Here's my PDF of my DNA. It's downloading it here. Downloads here. Boom. This is what it looks like. So this is my DNA report on the anti-aging component. It's 24 pages. It talks about my height, my weight, my age, and then it starts going into my genetics. It starts giving me scores. We want to have greens. We want to stay away from yellows. So all of your test results can also be sent to you in a PDF. You just request it, and then it goes through and it gives you the information on anti-aging, talks about the different genes we look at, the clock gene, and all these other things that tell you when you should sleep, when you should exercise, talks about the risk of pain, like back pain with aging. Mine's a very mild green. You can see there. That's pretty slick and simple. It shows all the details of everything. Cognitive degeneration. Listen, I've got a higher risk of cognitive decline. And so I know that. That's why I take my cell signal formula. That's why I take the neuro reboot. That's why I'm really big on cod liver oil and vitamin D and a couple of other things. And it shows us what to do. Here's what you need to do because of all that information. So you can read a lot of information about yourself. You can engage with questions about yourself. It shows what the genes look at. Here's my longevity genetics. It shows the longevity gene pathways. It shows me what I should do a little bit about it. I mean, everything that's on your app, you can get it in a PDF form as well. Let me show you guys a couple other really cool components to this that I think you'll find fascinating. Let's go back to our homepage. Let's go down here. Let's look at mental health. So mental health measures attention span. So it measures the genes for ADD, ADHD, measures the genes for being a workaholic or any type of addict. I mean, it's really fascinating. If you find that you've got these genes are positive, By the way, guys, I can go generate a PDF for this as well. I can go look at that. Caffeine, how does that affect my brain? How's my attention span? Am I a worrier versus a warrior? If I want to come over here and look at my neurological health, I can tell, do I have a neurological genetic risk for headaches, for pain? What's my pain threshold look like? There are genes. You guys know some people can handle pain and others can't. And this gives you ideas of why genetically you might not be able to handle some pain. And there's things that you can do to help with this stuff. Okay, you just got to engage the app with that. Do you have photosensitivities? Do you have a genetic risk for light and UV lights to cause problems? If you do, which I have a very slight one, that's why in the afternoons I wear my UVB blockers, right? My UVB blocker lights, so that my brain stays functioning like it's supposed to. Again, talks about all the stuff that you should be doing to help your body. You come down here, we can look at physical issues. It shows you what are you more prone for aerobic or anaerobic exercise? What's the best time of day for you to work out? My body is morning or daytime. Okay. So morning or daytime is my best exercise. So when I asked my DNA to put a plan together of how to live my life, of when I should exercise, it should tell me that morning or midday is better than evening time. Talks about exercise will affect my weight. Do I exercise fasted versus fed? What's my risk for stress and recovery? How's my VO2 max? That's a big one. VO2 max, it says mine has elite level genetic opportunities, but I still got to work it. These are some of the most important attributes that a person could have when it comes to their longevity. And then you can look at supplements. Here, look, is ashwagandha going to be beneficial for testosterone for me? Ashwagandha does not raise testosterone for me, so I wouldn't use it. What about ginger? Look at this down at the bottom. It says ginger does not raise testosterone, so ginger wouldn't be good for me. L-citrulline. L-citrulline enhances exercise and recovery. I would need some L-citrulline. Talks about NMN and stamina. A lot of people are getting NMN out there. Talks about different types of amino acids and glutamine and taurine. Talks about whey protein. This is a big one. People ask me all the time about different types of proteins. Whey isolate. So I use it, but I only take about 40 grams a day of whey isolate because it causes more problems with me than good if I take it. So, I mean, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of what supplements I should be having. Then I can come here and I'm just downloading all my PDFs so y'all can see those in a minute. Then let's talk about vitamins and minerals. Okay, does betaine help me with digestion? Mine's yellow. Okay, so I have a risk of that. Calcium, increased risk of calcium deficiencies. I have that genetically. I have an increased risk of choline, which that can lead to digestive issues, nerve issues, and genetic issues. Cyanocobalamin is a big problem for me. I should not be having that. It needs to be methylcobalamin, and that's why it's in our cell signal formula. Talks about magnesium, talks about methionine, B9, that's a genetic risk for me. Omega-3s is genetic risk for me. So whenever I ask questions about my vitamins and nutrients and everything else, it's going to show that in these reports. If we look at how stress affects our body, talks about stress and memory, talks about, stress and pressure. If I want to see how my body handles stress, am I predisposed to dealing with stress okay or not? I mean, you get this information and you really start digging into this, and it really tells you so much more about you. Again, self-care is the real healthcare. And then here's the genes that we look at. Remember that BDNF gene, we talk about it a lot with memory, cognition, focus, and function. And remember, the neuro reboot formula increases that BDNF function in the brain. So it's so fascinating. It has psychological traits in here. My psychological risk traits for autism and anger and brain fog and being a pessimist versus an optimist. And there's more to it than this, right? When I look at being a pessimist versus an optimist, it's looking at serotonin versus dopamine. Okay. It's looking at the ability to be obsessed over something. Are you a warrior versus a worrier? There's just so many neat things that you can find from this. This is a big one. I put a whole thing in here on liver because liver is one of the biggest factors that people have when it comes to their health. You can look and see I have reduced liver metabolism. So it talks about what drugs could be problematic for my body. We actually have the ability to do a pharmacogenetics report for you from this, which measures different categories of drugs, tells you what drugs you should or should not be having, and then it measures the genes that go with it. So again, just massive, fascinating information here that you can gain. Intolerances to stress, fatty foods, gluten, hay fever, sugar. I mean, it's just fascinating. Injury risk, hormone stuff. Here's a big one: hair health. So gray hair. I got a big one for that, and it's a copper issue. Okay, alopecia, dry hair, dry skin, diet. This is a big one. So like looking at this, my body's got okay fat distribution. I want greens. Okay, look how green that protein is for me. How dark green it is. My body needs to be on a carnivore, a protein heavy diet. It shows that I've got a higher risk for sugar issues with my genes. Same thing with saturated fats. Unsaturated fats don't bother me that much. My metabolic rate is going to slow down with sugars. Talks about how lactase persistence in adulthood. And that's true. I could drink milk and all that stuff when I was younger. If I have some now, it just wrecks me. So it's pretty fascinating. And all of this information is taken into account whenever you come in here and you ask your genetic test, like, hey, what should I do? And then you go to the bottom right and it takes you back to the BioLimitless website. And then you can correlate products and things like that we have with these results. So fascinating, isn't it? I mean, it's super fascinating what you can find. And if you go back and you look at your test results, you can see all these different PDFs that are here. And we come and we look at, for example, let's look at this PDF right here. This is my psychological traits. Okay. You can tell a lot about your psychological traits and risk factors by looking at your genetics. Anger, autism, brain fog, worrier versus warrior, your intelligence, your obsessiveness over things, a pessimist versus optimist, and how your reward center is located. It talks about these different characteristics it looks at. It measures dozens of genes of each one. And if you have these genes, like the anger gene is fine for me, that measures the MAOA genes and the variance with it. It gives me an idea of what I should do and what I should avoid, and gives me the breakdown. My autism gene's a little higher than I'd like it to be, but it's there nonetheless. I also have a higher genetic predisposition of brain fog. Tells me what that means and how B vitamins and vitamin D3 and iron can help me fix that. Gives me the science bit about it. Talks about intelligence. Like, it shows based off of my genes that I have a higher likelihood of, genius level intelligence. We have genes that measure those things. Now, just because you're genetically predisposed to it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And then talks about, this is so true for me, I've got a really big characteristic to get obsessed about things. That's why I've gone down the rabbit hole for almost 30 years in the health and wellness space, really, truly vetting things out. Am I a pessimist versus an optimist? This is really interesting because when you look at this, it looks at certain gene receptors. And if you look at my gene receptors, I've got a very high association with a high likelihood of pessimism versus optimism. And I have to work on that. I personally have to always be thinking the glass is halfway full. I've trained myself to be that way, because if not, I could really get into the pit of despair pretty quickly. Talks about my reward behaviors, just all kinds of amazing things that come out of this genetic profile. So again, isn't this wild? What do you guys think about this? Such a cool test. I'm really excited that we now are giving people the opportunity to really take advantage of these genetic testing. So if you haven't done so, this is our DNA discovery BioLimitless test. You run this test. It's a simple little test. You get the test results back to you, and now you can start exploring about you. I'm going to come on here later and I'll do a couple real broken down ones off of physical health and chemical health and nutrition and food plans. I'm going to show you how you can navigate this one by one through all those little categories, and how you can engage with that AI health assistant that can help you take your health and your life to the next level. So if you haven't already done so, click the link below, go to biolimitless.com, go check out our DNA test kit. My team told me we have a couple hundred of these left, not too many. Soon those are going to be completely gone, and you'll have to pay full price for those. By the way, we did put in the buy now, pay later option, so you can use Klarna, Afterpay, Apple Pay, all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of ways. We're trying to take the friction away from you guys, because the more you learn about yourself, the more you can take care of yourself, and the less you're going to have to engage with a broken system. And that's what we're all about, because we know that self-care is the real healthcare. So guys, I got to get going until we meet again. Hope you guys enjoyed this common sense conversation about the genetic testing and profiles. So have an amazing day and be well. I'll see you later tonight.